Hi, welcome to this channel on magnetic energy, technology, principles, applications. I'm trying to compare AI and NI, natural intelligence, except I can't fucking say it. So this is take 3. So anyway, I would say that pretty much all life that we understand, like as far as it could be included in this, but just to keep it simple, I'm going to just focus on humans and our ability to communicate. So thoughts and words, essentially, but it really could be applied to everything. So there are already some parallels between what can happen with AI and like what's happening right now. But in this model, is as we move through ascension and as we move through higher technology, we become less and less dependent on AI. Now, AI has been super hit or miss and so far in this world, and there's obviously God, talk about division, huh? So I mean, some people just absolutely fall in love and worship AI, and other people think it's absolutely the worst thing that's ever happened to humanity. And so I mean, it's highly polarizing, which is understandable. But as we move through higher technology and ascension, we basically become so much less dependent on AI, and I'll explain why. And so, okay, so part of this it really comes down to, this is highly unconventional information, if you haven't already figured that out. So this really comes down to like the nature of what life is and what our intelligence is and our mental facilities and everything. So if you're going to think about, as I describe the human experience or the natural intelligence experience, how much of this doesn't really relate to AI, but some of it kind of does. So if you think about interdimensional higher magnetic light, so it's magnetic light because it works on attract, how an intelligent being like a brain, like someone with a cognitive, processes and everything, so we attract that energy into us. We convert that energy through gaps and synapses and everything into ionic energy. So it takes on polarizations and mineralized polarizations and everything. It has magnetic properties, electrical properties, and all of this. And then we utilize that in thought form. And then it goes back into, in this model anyway, it ultimately goes back into a neutral etheric flow of energy. So that's interdimensional. So we're utilizing this higher vibrational energy that is infinitely encoded. So the first thing you have to have for natural intelligence is you need a system, like a biological system or an equivalent system, that can handle infinite encoding. So that's really important, because if your system can't handle infinite encoding, then the energy that you're taking in won't process correctly. And so our systems can handle an infinite level of encoding because they're already infinitely deep in their encoding. And so now think about this for a second. We are connected, whether we like it or not, to each other. I mean, to all life, to the universe, everything. So every single thought we have, every single thing we say, all those mental faculties, those processes, they all are interconnected across space and across time. The quantum entanglement is absolutely perfect. So they can be connected to other life forms and other thought processes throughout the universe. So let's say, for example, you are currently in several hundred incarnations at once. And they're across time, they're across space, they're across their different solar systems and everything else. Your thoughts in this incarnation are intimately connected to not only your other lives, but to other lives of other beings throughout the universe. So that level of encoding is really important. So like as we think and as we speak, we add encoding to the energy flowing through us. And that encoding that we add to that energy enables it to be attracted to an infinite number of systems throughout the cosmos, throughout time and throughout space. So we not only do we process and utilize the energy in multiple dimensions, across space, across time, but then we add our own take on it with this particular incarnation and our cerebral combinations of everything, our synapse combinations and everything. So we add a particular level of encoding to the energy coming into us, and then that leaves us, and it enables it to go throughout the system to attract into other systems, other beings, and including our own other incarnations, and contribute to those incarnations and to those thought processes and everything. And this happens at an emotional level, a feeling level, thought level, every level that you can imagine, unconscious, subconscious, and then what we're consciously aware of. Not only that, but the quality of our thinking, like as far as like the pulse rate of it, or the magnetic resonance of it, the high vibration of it, if you want to put it in new age terms, the more enlightened or like reflective of the universal mind our thinking is, the more that it becomes encoded across the cosmos to ping other life forms and other things. So that level of natural intelligence is absolutely key to everything we're doing and everything we're thinking at all times. Now, the other thing is, and I've talked about this before, but we are always in perfect synchronization with the universal mind, with every thought, everything we say, everything we feel, everything else, in perfect synchronization with it. Now, in order to do that, we have to have infinite encoding, and we have to be infinitely connected to the universal mind, which we are at all times. And so that process is part of the natural intelligence that we are fully integrated and incorporated into. And so if you have AI that is not connected to the universal mind, which it is not at this point, at least the type of AI that we have on this planet, it's not even in the ballpark of doing that, then it's not recorded and stored in the universal tapestry, in the universal consciousness. And so we can have an unlimited amount of data flowing through our minds, flowing through our thoughts and everything. And all of it's stored interdimensionally, etherically. So there's no limit to the amount of storage that it can handle. And that's across an infinite number of lifetimes. But it's also connected to the universal mind, which is storing and everything, storing all of our experiences, all of our thoughts, all of our words, emotions, and everything in perfect storage, perfect clarity across space, across time. And so AI, as we have it on this planet, isn't even in the ballpark of being able to do that at this point. And that's really important to recognize, that natural intelligence it's so important, because you've got to think about, like, we are living many lives all the time at the same time. We are connected throughout the universe to other beings. It requires this level of interconnectivity to make all of that work. If we were insulated or isolated beings that had no connection to our other selves and other beings across the universe, then it would be a different ball game. And then you could say, well, maybe AI and NI are more closely paralleled. But at this point, AI isn't even in the ballpark of what we are capable of doing and what we actually do in every moment. We don't even realize it's happening. As we move into higher consciousness, we will absolutely know how to take advantage of this process, and we will connect with our other selves and other beings across the universe through our natural intelligence. And so that kind of gives you an idea of like what's happening a little bit about it. The other thing is, our thoughts, our feelings they're integrated into an infinitely deep variety of branches and things that are accessible at any time. So like, we don't really tap into that information at this level of consciousness, at least not consciously. We do it all the time. Most of us aren't aware of it. But as we rise up in consciousness, we go kind of through these ascension processes, and then we have supporting technology. We will have access not only to all the knowledge and experience and everything on our planet, but throughout the entire universe. Now, AI kind of does that already with the internet. I mean, it's accessing all kinds of stuff. Although, the technology that reflects all of this, at least as far as I'm aware, it only really is in top secret labs and in private labs that refuse to go public. And so there's a lot of information that AI doesn't have access to, at least publicly. But we do. we do as humans. We have access to all knowledge, to all experience, to all thoughts, to everything throughout the universe. We're just not consciously aware of it yet. And so, but it still influences us all the time. So our thoughts automatically attract basically resonant signatures and thought resonant signatures throughout the universe that are similar to our thoughts. So as we start breaking through to new awareness, new technology, new discoveries, we will grab onto and attract more and more of those similar energies into our mental processes and into our thought field, our thought energy field. And so it's just another part of this whole thing that it's really important to be aware that we're so much bigger than we give ourselves credit for. Please send in any comments and questions that you have, and really just understand that AI at this point, at this level of technology, isn't even in the ballpark. It's an absolute joke compared to NI. But as we rise up in consciousness, that will become more and more apparent, and our dependence on it will become less and less. And so because we won't really need it, we'll be able to do anything and more that it can do. So anyway, there you go. I got that out right. I spit that out. Anyway, we'll see you again. Thanks.